From dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the real zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
God, don't give up on me yet. I know I'm not your best bet, but I'm trying. Don't give up on me yet. Ooh, and God, don't leave me here alone. I know I need to grow still, and I'm trying. Don't leave me here alone.
What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another conversation with Trent and his beautiful friends. Good stuff. Was off last week. I actually had some things going on with these spasms, and Coach Dee was under the weather and all that good stuff. And well, not good stuff, but hey, took some time, needed some rest. So been going for a very long time since we've been back to the platform, since I returned to the platform. But we got a good one tonight. We're going to be talking about a little bit of politics. Then we'll jump in and talk about some other things as far as you guys will be surprised about. So we're talking about double trouble. Double trouble as a woman of color nears the presidency. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to twist it up a little bit in GuMbOtAlk. I want to know, actually, when I was talking to Coach Dee about this topic a couple of weeks ago, I started telling them about these different guys that I'm seeing on TikTok and the disdain that these brothers have for this sister. I was kind of confused by that. And I got a thought, and I'm going to hold that thought until I get the ladies in here. I got a thought on why they have a disdain for that sister among other educated Black sisters. So let's get the ladies in. Let's talk about this thing one sec. Hey, what's up?
Hey.
How's it going?
There we go.
Coach Dee, how you feeling?
Yeah.
We're still fighting a cold. Yeah. It is what it is. When you have little people, they have germs. They're little people.
Very true.
So. Well, since we last spoke, I had 2 stints to the what do you call that place? The
urgent care
situation with these spasms and whatnot. So the bicep tendonitis is flared up. And actually it was my fault that it flared up again, because at yoga, I'm not supposed to be stretching up and pulling out with the left side. And I've been doing that, and kind of aggravated and whatnot. So kind of sidelined me for a minute, but you know me, I got to get something in. So I'm doing some more cardio as far as walking and stuff now. So I can't do the yoga for a minute. So I'll do the cold dip tomorrow. But everything good with you, Dee? How's the little man?
He's good. We're getting our kitten in 2 weeks, so he's very excited.
Good
wow.
We're waiting for a new picture because he's a Maine Coon. So what he looked like 2 months ago is going to be completely different than what he looks like now.
Right.
Good boy.
I'm gonna have to Google that.
Yeah,
What's
so we're
different about this particular cat than others?
They're the largest of the domestic breeds.
Okay.
So they're considered a gentle giant. Like this cat's dad, if he is standing up, he could put his hands up on the bathroom counter, his paws. They're big
What?
boys.
Oh, okay.
Like 36 inches standing up.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Is he's bigger than Kobe?
I don't know how they weigh about 20 up to, some of them can get up to 25 pounds.
Oh no.
Kobe's like 80 pounds right now.
It's a cat, dude. A cat. Like,
Okay.
Coach Dee, just blame the condition. Blame the condition, like
Right,
we do always. It's always a condition.
Hey,
I'm like, they call them the gentle giant because they're bigger than domestic cats, but it's still a domestic cat. You're not getting a lion or something, man. Like,
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
so yeah, so we're waiting on the pictures, but Mr. Straight A's deserves it, so we're
good stuff.
waiting for Mr. Monty to arrive.
Good.
Monty.
That was his name, Monty.
His name is Montgomery Akrum. So
Montgomery. I like that.
Akrum.
I like that.
Sounds so refined. So refined.
Well, he's a very refined creature.
We used to have one of our dogs when I was growing up. We had one of those Afghan hounds. His name was Sebastian.
Oh, those are beautiful.
Hey, enough about cats. Okay, enough about.
That was a dog. Afghan is a dog, sir.
Okay. Hey, the only dog I know is Kobe. Sorry.
We can
Yeah. So hey, listen. So when I was having a conversation with Dee a couple of weeks ago, we did promise this political show, political show. We're less than 2 weeks away, and we're gonna do the political show. Yes, we are. But I got some questions for the brothers. And as I was doing this research, going through TikTok, going through the social media sites and all that stuff, and I find that these brothers have a very disdained taste in their mouth for their sister, right? So I'm thinking back and I'm watching and I'm like, and I watched a ton of videos since we spoke, Dee. So it's been about 3-4 weeks that we talked about doing this thing.
Yep.
And I'm like, every time these guys are speaking, they speak it ill, like hatred, like spewing hatred. Almost like they're regurgitating what this other idiot's talking about, the way he's talking about it, right? So I got to thinking about educated Black women. I got to thinking about my ex-wives, who both have doctorates. All my girlfriends, either they're working toward, ex-girlfriends that is, either they're working toward a PhD or they've had, they got the PhD or master's or what have you, whatever. That's what I'm accustomed to dating, right? I've had a couple of them that didn't have those degrees and doctorate degrees, but the girls that was significant in my life, they had, upper achievement. But anyway, my whole point is, I think it's an inferior complex. I think they're intimidated by that. Highly educated, well-spoken, know exactly what she's talking about, and has a snapback real quick. So I have a problem with that these brothers are regurgitating something apparently they do not do the research, but some of the stuff that they're spewing is not correct. They're not doing the research on this woman. They don't know that she's very highly educated. Very highly educated. Several colleges under her belt. So I took offense to that. So I got to wonder, and I had some questions for the brothers. What's the problem with sisters? Particularly, what's the problem with Black sisters, Black educated, beautiful sisters?
I can tell you what it is. We won't be their mamas.
Elaborate on that, yes.
So here's the thing. If you have a well-educated woman who is who is confident of herself, who is sure of herself, who has self-esteem and self-worth, she's not going to put up with the BS.
Absolutely.
Right? She's not going to build you up because she expects you to be built up already.
Right.
Right? And here's the thing. When you listen to them, And boy, I've listened to a lot of them. I'm very disappointed in some of the, not all, some
Right.
in our community. And
Mhm.
I watched one guy who was complaining about her being married to a white man while sitting right beside him was a white woman.
Right.
What?
And I'm like, sir. And I got into it in the comments with him. I'm like, you have got some nerve to be calling her out when you're sitting next to a white woman. Like, who the hell do you think you are? Right?
Here's the thing with that, right? I really don't. I don't have a.
They don't.
I don't have a problem with sisters dating, you know, in other races. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I particularly wouldn't date outside my race because me personally, like I've always told my friends, it just don't lay down the same for me.
Yeah.
It just don't. So that's just not what my interest is. My interest is in Black women. And to me, in my opinion, there's nothing greater and nothing more beautiful than a woman with a beautiful mind, a Black woman in particular.
Mhm.
Well, that's
Very
trying to
beautiful
control
mind.
her.
Thank you, Trent.
So it's very
Y'all can
interesting
hear me?
that we can hear you, but it's
Okay.
very interesting that Black men or some Black men, and I've experienced this personally, that when there are some Black women who date outside of our race, have an issue in that with that.
Right.
And I'll be very honest, I don't have a problem dating outside of my race. I've done it before, but I've always felt that Black men date plenty of people that are not Black. So why
They
is
really
it
do.
a
They
problem
really do.
when a Black woman goes and does that?
Yeah,
Like,
they really do. And like I said on previous podcasts, since we've been back, 3-4 years now, like I can't say nothing to you guys about dating outside the race or having multiple partners. I can't say anything about that. My
oh,
track record is wrecked, so I can't say nothing about that.
but you do say plenty of stuff about the multiple partners thing.
Yeah.
You do have a body count limit, sir, that you have expressed on here, but we're not going to talk about that tonight.
Yeah, we definitely not gonna talk about it. So let's talk about the politics real quick, and we're gonna mix that in with the gumbo talk with why the disdain for educated Black women. So on the politics side, right? Go ahead.
No, I was just thinking, going back to what Coach Dee said about that we're not we're not going to be their mothers. Do you also think that because we have such a patriarchal society, that some men really see us as being qualified and on a level field with them to be able to be in such and that's in a presidential position? I mean, there's plenty of females or women that are CEOs and running companies, but
Done.
I just wonder if, just based on on what our societal norms have been, if that also plays into it. And it's just kind of weird because I guess hypocritical, but so to a certain extent, because there are plenty of other countries who have female leaders running those countries and have been doing it way longer, for a very long time.
Absolutely.
Well,
Again,
there's-
like go ahead, D.
I was gonna say, you can tell how advanced a country is by how it treats its women.
Boom. Boom. And honestly,
we are not the first world country we pretend to be.
Right.
Absolutely. I honestly believe that Black men are regurgitating what their oppressors are doing. Just like, for example, I'll give an example here, right? CNN. Talk about CNN for a second. So, yeah, CNN's a little better than Fox, but they're always the same, right? So I talk to my brother every night about this, with the CNN thing. So now they're downplaying, oh, she's a little behind in the polls. Where in the hell is this poll?
Right.
I've never been polled. Where do they go find these people out with these polls, right? Everybody know that this thing's gonna be a landslide, but that's an undertone, dog whistling, racial slurring there. You understand what I'm saying?
It's not. It's a setup. It's a setup for when he loses, he can say it was stolen, it was rigged.
Thank you.
It's a setup.
Thank you.
Because you know what? And it's ridiculous because there is no way this should be as close as it is.
It's not, though. It's really not. It's really
listen, I've seen people who will say they voted one way, but the numbers, like white women, oh, we're gonna vote. We're not gonna vote for Trump. 53% of them voted for Trump.
Right.
Those women are all still gonna vote for Trump. because they will
Again.
not vote for a white woman, because those are the same white women in corporate who will backstab you
Exactly.
without a heartbeat, without a second thought.
Again, and I'm going to say this on the record right now at 7:16 Central Time, 8:16 Eastern, right? I'm going to say this right here. She's going to win by a landslide, and black women are going to be responsible for taking over the top.
You have a lot more faith in the American people than I do.
Right. That's what I said.
Black women are going to take her over the top. Educated black women.
Ironically enough, here's the thing: that it won't be black women's going to take her over. It's going to be white men, which is where the poll, and it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen, because white men understand where their daughters treat their daughters better.
Exactly.
So they're fighting for their daughters. But
that's true.
You know,
That's true.
I'm nervous about November 5th.
In some cases, as far as black men. But
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm glad I got a Canadian passport. I can get the hell out. Y'all are stuck.
Wait, don't leave us, D. Don't leave us.
You better get me a room ready, because I'm coming over here.
That's right. Don't leave us.
People are willing to vote for fascism. Like, he still talks about the exonerated 5 like they did something.
Oh God.
At his recent rally in New York, one of his speakers said that Puerto Rico was a floating island of garbage.
I saw that.
But what? Like,
But they actually, what they doing, that's a dog whistle for the base. That's all that is.
Mm-hmm.
Sir,
That's all
we can't dismiss it as just a dog whistle anymore, though. We can't dismiss that, because the people they put in power have power. Look at the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Right? Our votes matter. Like, when you are voting, you have to vote the entire ticket and pay attention to who you're voting for.
Yeah, you got to vote down. Yeah, but I still believe that she's going to win by a landslide. I truly believe that.
I mean, I hope that's true. I don't know that it is, but of course, you know, I live in one of those hard states that they're rallying for, to, you know, that's always been red and turned blue at the last election. So we're hoping it stays blue this time. But
honestly,
we'll see.
The swing states, we call them the swing states, because Louisiana is not a swing state.
Nah, not at all. But I'm proud to say, in Jefferson Parish alone, on the first day of early voting, 34,000 of us went out and voted.
The early voting numbers are crazy.
Are they right? Like, even here, we had I think almost 1 million the first week it was open. I'm glad I've already done mine.
And for the entire state of Louisiana and all parishes, 782,000 people have early voted.
Wow.
Black people.
Listen, I would love to see it, because we have had 45 men. About time for a little change.
Exactly.
And here's the thing I find absolutely hilarious. I watched the rallies live. I watched both sides and watched the comments.
You did that.
People get so upset how hyped up the Harris rallies are. I'm like, Gen X plays things a little different. We're not like, this is a whole. I don't think people realize it's a different generation that's totally in play now.
Totally different.
And that's why things look different.
Yes.
Totally different.
Trump is 78 years old. He's two years away from 80 and sundowning on a regular basis. So
he just shot himself in the foot when he said that if the times were 1770, everything would be great. Now let me talk to the brothers for a second. Y'all know what he means, right? 1770. That was right before the Civil War.
Mm-hmm. Well, he wants to repeal the 14th Amendment. See what the 14th Amendment does.
Exactly.
It gives us citizenship.
So for you brothers, he said there was a time that he want to get back to, 1770, before the Civil War.
Before women could vote.
This is when they placed the police patrol, the police that's actually patrolling the streets, that was actually originated for us. Let's keep it a buck. While we slamming his sister. Let's keep it a buck.
Listen, white adjacency is a drug, sir. Remember, I always have a rule. I said, don't hang with people that hurt with a shot.
Exactly. So let's get down to this why do brothers. And I wanted to do this political show and wanted to wait till Urs get back to do it. I know some of her views on that. And we're not going to stay on the political stuff, because I'm kind of just like I was talking to Shannon earlier. We're kind of beat down by everything, but
Yeah.
just do what you got to do, man. Early voting still until I think it's Friday,
November 1st. Yep.
November 1st. So I think you guys still got time. Get out there and do what you got to do, man. Early vote. Actually, proud of Torrance coming in, grabbing his voter registration card from the house. He came specifically in for that. Grabbed the card, went and vote. He's back out of town.
Oh, good. I'm excited. My middle daughter turned 18 this year, so she just voted this weekend for the.
I saw that video. I saw that video.
I was so excited.
That's good stuff. Man.
Did everybody clap? Because in Maryland, when you vote for the first time, everybody claps for you.
Oh, I didn't. Well, she went with her dad, so I don't know. But I'm excited that she got to go and cast her vote.
Yeah.
Then another thing.
What are we voting for? How is Kamala going to propel the people that's at the bottom, whoever they are? What is her agenda? What are we voting for?
You're gonna save your rights, ma'am. You want to be a woman with autonomy over your body? Yes, no. You want to have rights over your body? I would think yes. That's a direct question.
I've got three daughters, so I definitely want them to.
I would like to turn that question to Trent. I mean, honestly, he has. Wait.
I have daughters, very beautiful daughters. So
I want to express. Does it really matter? Does it really matter?
For me, it does. I have a granddaughter.
I know. I mean, let me explain to you where I'm going with it. Like, what are we really voting for? Okay, so women can have rights over their body. Okay, we have rights over our body.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do. Right now, we have rights over our body. And
not everybody does. And if you even here in Georgia, you don't. We're right behind Texas, so no, we don't.
Well, if we do, so if you ask me, so when you say rights over your body, give me an example of what you're referring to.
I'm gonna give you one right now.
An example.
I'm gonna give you an example, right? Mm-hmm. Dee, do you remember the show we did when Shannon took a leave when my niece died?
That's right.
You remember that, Dee?
Yeah.
So when I was talking to Dee, I was in a conversation with Dee. She was like, "Man, y'all better not let that go. Talk to Alvin and tell him
that's right.
Not let that go."
Who was the president when all of that happened?
Hold on a second. Yeah.
Who was the president when that happened? Trump or Biden?
But they still listen. Those policies have always been in place before Biden, before Obama come along. You understand what I'm saying? All that stuff was already in place. They always had a problem with the medical system and Black women.
It's a problem. It's a problem. It doesn't matter. I keep saying the president ain't never coming to your front door. So if I'm in a crisis right now and I'm bleeding on the floor in my house, Trump ain't coming, Biden ain't coming. They don't know me and they don't give a damn. So I think you should always go exercise your right to vote if that's what you feel like doing. But at the end of the day, how does that really propel the people that's at the bottom? Whoever the people at the bottom is.
Ma'am, you want safe water, safe food? Trump got rid of some of the protections for our water and our food. Why do you think there's so many FDA recalls now? Exactly. It's because they got rid of the regulations. They got rid of the inspectors.
You
need to.
I don't know about that. I'm not saying I'm pro-Trump. I'm not pro-Trump, but I'm definitely saying I'm not pro Kennedie.
Before you came on,
Jill Stein, she don't know nothing about anything anyway. She hangs out with Putin.
Before you came on, I'm more than sure you know that I'm very on point with information and whatnot, what have you. So if we're talking about it, we've done the research, everything.
I know. I'm not challenging that.
Okay, but my whole point is when my niece died.
I will sip on that for a second, real quick.
When my niece died, when she died, they released her from the hospital way too early. Mm-hmm. She was still bleeding internally. She did not even make it to the 6-week checkup, the first 6-week checkup for her daughter that my brother's taking care of. My brother and his ex-wife take care of now. But the whole point is the medical system has always been against the Black woman. That's not something that just happened.
It's not. It's really not.
But the thing about it is,
and I can't see how Kamala I can't see how.
It's not about her, Urs. It's not
I'm
about
not
her.
saying
The
that.
whole
I just
point
want to
is,
say she never had a kid before. So
who cares? Who cares? I'm going
Whoa,
black.
whoa, no.
I'm just
What does that have to do with
road.
anything, though? That she hasn't birthed a child.
I mean, listen, I'm not saying I'm against her. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that. I just want to be clear. I just, when
well, if we want to be clear, let's remember who actually makes the laws. The laws are made by Congress and the Senate.
Congress and Senate.
That's right.
People have no clue how the government works. Like they're like, what should do as vice president? Vice president doesn't do anything. It's a placeholder in case something happens to the president.
You know what I learned? You know when I learned how to lobby on Congress? When I was in a first class seat going to New York doing a remix, and didn't know I was sitting next to James Carville at the age of 21.
Oh, wow.
Okay. James Carville from Louisiana to New York taught me about how to lobby on Congress, how to use that money I was making with the record company to lobby on Congress for the things that matter most to me. Yeah. James Carville. So this is what we're misinformed. This is what I'm so frustrated about with these brothers. They're just talking heads. And in this world, it's the social media world. I've been podcasting before they started calling it podcasting, broadcasting. All these new talking heads around, I don't even know these guys. They talk and don't do no research or don't know what they're talking about. They have no idea what they're talking about. But you have to know how government works. Or, well, Trump gave us a check. Really? Just because you saw Trump demanded that his name go on the check. That's all that was. Trump inherited Obama economy. 8 years. It took a while for Obama to repair the economy from Bush. He got it stable and gave him a surplus. He's running on a good economy. He's running on that black man economy. That's all that is. But whatever it is or whoever gets upset about it, I'm going black. That's it.
For many of years, we have supported, our African American race. So I'm not saying you're not supposed to support the African American race by far. I'm not saying it.
Always look out for my people.
But you live in a red state, so my
whole point is, I have a platform that reaches thousands upon hundreds of thousands of people. So if I can get this message out to them, go black.
I support what you're saying. I sign off on what you're saying, and I think a lot of people do. And I do think it's going to be a very close. And
I'll give you another example, right? I have a good friend of mine, Jim, and we would talk. She loves to talk about politics, so
hold on, Trent.
She had no idea about Project 25. Go ahead. I didn't hear you.
Shann,
I'm sorry. Before we get into that, was that me? Sorry, my internet's being a little wonky. Can you hear? Can you see me or hear me?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, Trent, because I know what you're transitioning to. So before you do that, I wanted to make sure Ursula got to finish her thought because you kind of started talking over her.
Okay.
Thank you, Shann.
Very passionate tonight. Well, go ahead.
It's your podcast. So
it's our podcast. Stop that.
I just think that, what I was saying, but I did lose my train of thought. But I remember when Biden was elected president, he was almost asked by the American people to stick to the loan forgiveness, and they really drove that. Some people actually got their loans forgiven, but it was people who had actually paid on a loan for a period of time that that did get loan forgiven. So there's a big the wealth gap in the United States is real. And honestly, how I feel about politics is until we can address the wealth gap, I'm just disconnected from politics because I worry about, our children and our children's children that's going to be here. And, the more you look at it, the more and more the wealth gap is it's a huge gap in the wealth. And when you unpack that, wait, hold on. When you unpack the wealth gap, and we don't have to talk long about that, but I hope that people understand that, what eventually happens is more and more, it becomes more and more pronounced, and so that bothers me a lot, because I do have a kid, and I just had an opportunity to talk to my kid about, he wants children, he wants a family. And how does that look for my grandchildren with us having a wealth gap? We already know that we're the bottom, African-American people don't have wealth. And we are the least wealthiest people in the United States.
Absolutely. Now,
and until we can address that, I really don't. I'm disconnected from these people who promise to help the people at the bottom out, and they really don't. And honestly, when you look at it, the truth is the man who we don't like kind of is the person who kind of was helping us out. Now, wait, let me just say this.
It's not true.
Let me just say,
no.
Let me just say this. Kamala did say she wants Kamala. Come out, Kamala.
Don't you do that. Don't you?
She wanted to help the small business.
Don't you do that.
By giving more to small businesses. We're going to hold your hand on that. You hold your hand to the fire on that. She did say, if I'm elected, I'm going to push no, I'm sorry, and I apologize for saying because I've been listening to this stuff, this soiree with both of them, and I don't like some of the stuff he said, but she said that she was going to make sure people get first-time home buyers money. How important that is for people to be able to not only purchase a house but keep a house. These last couple of years, people have actually been losing houses. So when you talk about who might win, I think it's not going to be a landslide. It's going to be close. But see, to some of the people who have lost their house these last 3 or 4 years because of the inflation on homeowners insurance, those are the swing voters, and they're probably not going to vote red because of that. Okay.
Before you interject, Dee, just 1 second. Let me tell Ursula 2 things. We're gonna say that name right, Ursula. We're gonna say that name right.
I'm sorry, VP Harris. I'm gonna just say Harris.
I appreciate it. Then
had told me, get it right. Call her by her name.
When you said that this other guy would do X, Y, and Z.
Oh Lord.
Hold on a second. His one guy, the richest man in the world, created a PAC. Okay? Created a PAC. The richest man in the world. Totally against the black man, totally against people, underclass, all that stuff. You don't think he's doing that because he, like Trump, right? He's doing that to stay on top, to continue to shit on people.
Oh, strong language tonight. Okay.
That was pretty strong.
Yeah.
Kobe don't even like him.
I know. Don't do that in front of my child like that. It's okay, Kobe.
It's okay. He's passionate about how he feels, and I respect that. I'm just as passionate. Like I said, I don't care about none of this here except the wealth gap. And this weekend, let me tell you, I purposely put myself in the city of New Orleans so we can see how the wealth gap look. We
already know what it looks like here.
Okay, so it's bad. So we admit it's bad.
We already know what it looks like here.
Okay, so
if you're worried about the wealth gap, you need to be more involved in politics, because the people who are talking aren't the ones worried about the wealth gap. They're the ones worried about more tax cuts for the rich. They're worried about the capital gains for over 100 million that people are upset about. Somebody got upset about me. I'm like, you're worried about the capital gains tax? I'm like, you got 100 million I don't know about?
Exactly.
They're like, no. I'm like, it don't affect you.
Thank you.
Okay. Ursula, are you voting? Because I know it does. I don't care who you vote for, but are you voting? Because it seems like, both of us don't seem appealing.
I'm gonna harass all the way up until the 5th.
Hold on, I'm not talking to you, Mr. Epic. Ursula, are you voting? Are you exercising your right to vote? Okay, crickets. So while we're on that, let's say hi, Gentle Giant. I know we've gone over. We need to talk to the people in the comments.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Let's get to the comments real quick, and I'm gonna get to the story that Alvin and I encountered over at the gym on Friday.
Perfect. So welcome, Alvin. Thank you, General Giant Mark, as always, and Miss Tina is on. And hold on, I do have a personal thing here with Mark because I'm trying to understand why I am Shann not bright. Like why? What's the bright part?
Because I'm not light.
Okay. I'm just trying to say I'm very caramel, sir. Anyway, continue.
You know, Mark.
He came in late and got to come in here starting some stuff. And then Ursula, he did say, who's Kamala?
It's
exactly.
He's right.
That's your friend.
Exactly. Mark going the way. Mark going the way I'm going. I guarantee you that.
All right. So yes,
the story.
So let's get to the story real quick. Then we'll transition to the disdain that Black men have on educated Black women. So Al and I finished our workout on Friday, right? So waiting for my driver. Al was waiting for his driver. So we talk, we have, our tea and coffee at Barnes and Noble. So this white girl that I've been knowing for the past 4 or 5 years to the gym, right? We stretch together, do all that stuff. I had no idea that this woman was MAGA until Friday. So Al and I standing there talking, shooting the breeze. And the first thing, she's playing with her phone, and she comes very close, just coming right into my space. She's real cool, real nice girl, right? Nice lady, right? So he's like, so what? So did y'all vote? So Al was like, yeah, of course. Al get in early. Of course we did. So I noticed that she had the 45 hat, Great America Again thing on her backpack. And she had the Donald Trump paraphernalia, like the mugshot t-shirt and all this other stuff.
What is the mugshot?
So I'm like, damn, I never seen her like this. And I've seen this woman for almost 5 years. And very, always very kind and hugging me and giving me a kiss when she leave, on the cheek, that is. But this particular day, she was in an uproar. And she was watching a rally, right? So she was going back and forth. She said, Trent, I want to show you something. I said, okay, cool. So she's showing the different rallies and stuff like that. Look what he's saying. I was like, I said, man, ask you something. I said, you're a Trump supporter? And she's like, yes. So as he kept on talking to the rally, I say, so you're not troubled by the misogynistic things that he spew out of his mouth? So she was like, what do you mean? Grab by the P? But she said the other word. And I said, yeah. She said, well, this world is upside down. And what he's really talking about is transgenders that Kamala is giving surgeries to in jail. Alvin and I looked at each other. Then all of a sudden, another one of my friends come out of the gym, another white lady. And she just went to cursing this woman out, right? Leave them and stop harassing them men. Leave them alone. He's an effing liar and you're an effing liar. You keep talking about how you're religious. You're not religious. So I told Alvin after they left, I said, I thought we had to break these two biddies up. They're about to fight. Two Caucasians about to fight in front of the gym. But I had no idea my friend was MAGA. And I'm more than sure when I see her in the morning, it's going to be the same thing. She's going to stretch and we'll talk. She's very cordial, very nice. But her views, she's very warped. And something is off. When she started talking about Trump, Alvin and I looked at her like, cuckoo. Looked like she was completely off.
Listen, man.
He said, cuckoo.
Yeah. I look at it totally different now.
Yeah, I learned a couple of things too today about some folks that I did not know were supporters on the other side that I've had long-standing relationships with. And I even have a family member, but we just choose not. Right. I can't have it.
They're on that Jim Jones juice, man. They're drinking that Kool-Aid.
I'm not supporting the other side. I support African American people and the poor and disenfranchised people who are struggling for their place in America and have been struggling for their place in America since they got here, and they help build this BI. You know the rest. We help build this. This is our blood, our sweat, our tears.
Let me ask you something. Why is it that every time someone Black running for the high office, we start talking about reparations? Why, when these Europeans Why when these Europeans run, nobody say nothing? I look at that like, oh, yes, sir, master. We just gonna fall in line. But soon as a black person run for office, I want my reparations.
They got theirs. The fact that you running for office.
But why?
They got their reparations.
But why is always brought up when a brother or sister trying to run?
I'm not asking for reparations. To be honest, I don't want reparations. You know, you can miss me with them Coach bags and whatever. They say we go. What's his name? Say them Mercedes Benz and BMW. So we gonna send out of business because we gonna spend all that money in 2 days. Right. If they tell us we really get it, we're gonna be made alone for the cars.
So let's
hold on. Hold on, Trent. We've got a comment. Mark said, "Project 2025 ? Who wants to be a dictator on day one? Get rid of the Constitution, lock up political adversaries, sick the National Guard or military and U.S. citizens, close the Board of Education." Those are all question mark items. So
actually, close the Board of Education, the Board of Health, Bureau of Management, all of them.
Exactly.
FDA, the whole thing. But here's the thing that's important. Even if you go to vote and you don't choose to vote for president, vote the down ballot. Vote for your Board of Education. Vote for your city sheriff. Vote for your judges. Make sure you know who those people are, because those people make direct effect on you individually in your area.
One more thing, one more thing, and then we'll transition.
I will agree with that.
One more thing, and we'll transition. He was your favorite guy was on Fox last week, and he said the first thing he's going to do is get rid of the education department.
Yeah,
getting rid of it, wiping it out.
Yeah, because
Urs, what would that mean for you, though, Urs? What would that mean for you if that happened? What do you work, Urs?
I work in education.
Oh, okay.
And it's a shit show right now.
Yeah, because here's the thing: who is the majority of workers in education? It's women.
Black.
Who?
Women.
Whose work is the most undervalued in the United States?
We already know when he say he want to get rid of stuff, he not talking about those jobs, not the people that's the poor people. He talking about the people that's in educational leadership. And
he's talking about all of them.
He's talking about all of
them. Listen. What we can't do is put the American. Nobody is going to put the American people out of business as far as for where you work at. So that's not going to happen.
It's not going to put American people out of business.
It's not.
It's going to put poor people out of business, because what's going to happen is people who can afford public school will still go. People who can afford private school will still go to private school.
Say it again. It's not going to be funded.
Like, I'm not worried. It's not going to be funded. Bank, Xavier will go to private school. He will be taken care of.
So it's not going to be funded.
Are going to be screwed because they don't have any school.
That's
what they want. They want a low-paid work base. Because when the work base is low-paid, the companies make more money. Kroger came out and said they were going to lower their prices.
Trent, can we hear Coach Dee, please, sir, for a second? I'm just saying I can't hear her for you being the cheerleader in the background making all these side comments. I'm so sorry. Thank you, ma'am. Please continue.
Everybody talks about the grocery bill, right? Kroger raised their prices in COVID and never dropped them. They're only starting to drop them now. The same as Walmart. All these big grocery stores all raised their prices because there was a supply issue. There's no supply issue now.
Well, when did these prices become effective?
I remember when prices first went up. When they first started closing the stores, they started raising the prices.
Right. When did that happen?
When the orange man was president. When the orange man was president. Remember, COVID happened when he was president.
When he ate up all that surplus that was left for him.
When he was telling everybody to drink bleach.
Did the price gouging begin during his presidency, or did the price gouging begin shortly after he was out of office?
When he was president, man. Yeah, I'm about to say, girl, eggs was like $6 a dozen. Where were you at?
I was right here buying them because I eat them a lot
in my backyard.
All right. Y'all know it. Didn't you say this is my platform? We're gonna transition from the orange agent, and we're gonna go to why black men have disdain for black women, educated black women.
Do we have enough time?
I know. We are at 8:46. This really went up.
You want me to talk about it. You know why black men have a disdain.
Yes, no, why?
I don't particularly care for some of them that flaunt these titles around, that half of them have, I'm not just talking about sisters, but I'm going to stay there for a second. Sometimes people go get education and they cheat to get the education, and then they flaunt these titles. They have men who they're taking care of the men in some sense, but you have to do as they say. So, let me tell you, I remember, because I grew up in a traditional household, I like to say that, and my mom always told her girls, make sure you make enough money to take care of yourself, and I hear a lot of people say, well, not a lot, I've heard people say, Black women love their sons but raise their daughters. Okay, now I'm going to unpack that real quick. Women with African-American women, not all, quite a few with education sometimes seem to take a hierarchy approach with a man. Like, they're going to put them in a place. And, if we're going to be talking about the Bible and trusting in God and everything, which that ain't this topic, but if, a lot of us are Christians, we know, I don't care how much money you make, your man is the leader. Your man is the leader of the house. But that's not true. It's the person who make the most money that's really the leader of the house. And so that's why Black men have a disdain, because the women checks has gotten a little bit bigger than them. And so has the women's demeanor and attitude towards their man gotten a little bit bigger. And some, not all.
Strong, secure men.
Man is no longer the leader of his house. I'm sorry.
Men don't need to be leader of the house.
My thought process.
It's not a who's the boss. It's your partner. Right? The 60, 40, 80, 20, 70, 30, whatever it is on a day-to-day basis.
Since
Just
I'm
because you have a
man
penis doesn't make you a leader.
Since I'm the only man on the panel, my thought process on why Black men have a great disdain for educated Black women. First of all, they're intimidated. Mm-hmm. Second of all, she's very witty, quick on her feet. As I stated when I opened the podcast up, the opening of the podcast, I married 2 highly educated Black women with doctorate degrees, master degrees, all the above. All my ex-girlfriends, either a doctorate or master educated. But I've never had a problem going for the high-hanging fruit. Never had a problem going for that high-hanging fruit. Because once they have a conversation with me, that fruit, the high-hanging fruit, will be hanging low. So here we go, though. But that's the problem. Nobody wants to talk about that. They're intimidated by these women. And yes, there's some of them that have issues with their choices and their mouths and, very arrogant and all that stuff. But maybe you're out of your arena. You're not in your arena. You playing basketball and she playing football. So you don't need to be over there playing football. Go in your arena. Date in your realm. Date in your realm. It has to be said. But disrespecting a woman of color, that shouldn't be tolerated by no other man. It shouldn't be tolerated.
So we've got
just because you feel a certain way about an educated woman.
Hold on, we'll come back to that because I do have a question for you regarding that. But Mark said, Urs, can you tell us? I'm starting to hear you now more on issues than you're leading. Oh, he says, I'm starting to hear that you know more on issues than you're leading on. The people on tonight's show can do a poll. That doesn't mean it's an accurate one. I think you need to provide a little bit more context on that. Mark, is there a question?
I don't know what the poll means.
But so Trent, the men that you're talking about that have a disdain, are these men that are on equal footing or equal standing with the women as far as education and status?
Honestly, I wouldn't know because I was just watching these videos of these men, so I can't tell if they're on equal footing or not. But from my conversation with guys or conversation with my past friends, they've never dated educated women. They've never dated because, and I used to always tell them all the time, You're intimidated by that woman. Your conversation is not the same.
I don't.
Conversation not the same.
I don't think it's just educated women. I think it's probably a woman. Am I too loud?
No, you're fine.
You good. You good.
Okay. I don't think it's educated women or woman. I think it's just a woman who probably brings home a bigger check. Honestly,
it's not about the money. It's about the beautiful mind. This is where we get lost in the sauce. For me, as a black man, I love a black woman with a beautiful mind. It has nothing to do with the money at all.
So I don't necessarily, I mean, I think for the purpose of tonight's show, we're equating it to a race as far as black men based on, I guess, some of the videos and stuff you were looking at, but I don't necessarily make it about just black women. I think that there are men that are intimidated in general, whether they're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever, that could be intimidated. But just to go back to what I think what Ursula said, and I consider myself to be a woman who follows the Christian faith, but honestly, I've always been the out earner, breadwinner, and honest, even when I was married. But I was still I will say I still was the submissive, the person that was submissive in a relationship. I believed in the hierarchy of the relationship as far as the man, the wife, the children, and whatnot. So just because I was the person who out earned, I didn't naturally just say, okay, you make all the decisions or I'll make all the decisions. We did that jointly, understanding that both of us had a role. It wasn't about him lording over me, but both of us having a mission at that point in time, what our marriage was or what our family was. And, really understanding that, yeah, you may be the head, but guess what? I'm also the neck. We can't operate without each other. Right. But at the end of the day, I still firmly believe that in that hierarchy that God holds that man more responsible for the direction and the leadership of that family. That's just my personal
experience. What's your thoughts on this topic that we're actually gonna bring this topic into next week? Since Earth took up all the time, I couldn't even.
She did not take up all the time. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I don't follow the colonizers' religion because God didn't write the book. Men wrote the book sometimes hundreds of years after it happened, and a lot of women are mentioned in the Bible. And in the Bible, it does not say she who finds a man. It is he who finds a wife, finds a good thing.
Right.
The woman is the prize, not the man. And we put men on this pedestal that they're the prize to be gained. And that's not right. And there's a lot of issues where people read parts of the Bible and not all of the Bible.
Some men.
Mr. Epic thinks he's the prize, but I firmly agree with that. I'm sorry. I firmly agree with that.
Some men are not.
And this is why I love this podcast, and I love it. It can go in so many different directions, and this is so good. This is so meaty. Listen, I don't think that. I think that when we honor each other, if you're doing it the right way and you have the correct partner, I think there's just it's just so evenly based. It's just so balanced, not based. It's just so balanced. And I think, there's just a lot of imbalanced relationships in our culture. And that further along leads to why we are we don't have wealth. A lot of sisters feel like, well, and men, I'm not listening to anything she says. She's running, well, I'm gonna leave. Well, yeah, you go. I could do this by myself. When you look at the people who are wealthy, they're in a lot of cases it's traditional households, and it's not us. You see the Asian people, the Asian culture, they live 8-10 people in a house. You see Mexican, Latina people doing the same thing right now. Here we're witnessing it. We see it with the Arabs, with the Indian people. They live and build wealth within their community. And then
we used to do that until we started.
Allow you to talk about that generational trauma real quick.
Both of y'all are talking, so I don't know what either one of y'all said.
Allow Dee to talk about that generational trauma. Go ahead and respond to that, Dee.
I was saying the reason we don't do that is because we were taught fear from the slave owners and using the slave Bible to keep us separated, right? In Africa, we still have generational living in multiple countries, right?
They have polygamy and a lot of other stuff too that we totally don't subscribe to.
Exactly.
That's because America's prudes, plain and simple.
Yeah.
Like people got upset because Janet Jackson showed a nipple. Like
exactly.
People grow up.
That Americans are prudes.
Mm-hmm. That is true. All the time I say that.
But that's what I feel like we over sexualize stuff.
We really do.
We just over sexualize stuff. But sir, we have comments, so I want to make sure. So hold on. So of course, let's see, where are we at? Mark said, "Ayo, Mr. Epic." This is my Mark voice. He said, "No brothers are here to refute what you're saying. Can't put anyone in a box. Rather, it's Fraud Jamar, Kodak, Weezy, Antonio Brown, or Le'Veon Bell."
Uh-huh.
I know. I understand exactly.
Yes, I don't know who that is.
Did you unpack that?
And he said, "Urs is asking about price gouging and inflation, and someone putting the country in trillions of dollars and trillions of debt."
Thank you.
And Portia, thank you, Portia, for joining in. Portia Watkins, she's agreeing with you, Urs. She said gave you 100%. And then Mark's last comment said no.
Before we do that, let me acknowledge Portia. She's actually the top fan on the Conversation with Trent Facebook page. So Portia, I always appreciate your engagement and all of that good stuff. I got a free book coming to you.
Thank you for engaging on the page. Yes.
I got a free book coming to you, Portia. And actually, a
couple sir. I have been on this. I have been doing this since day one.
Free books,
I have yet to get a free book.
You got to engage. You got to engage me.
And we got to keep that.
You know, I'm an established.
We're gonna have a sidebar.
Established published author here. So I got a couple of free, maybe several, not a couple. I got several different books I've authored here. Portia, you're gonna get all the books for engagement. I looked at the engagement. So first, you got to get this to Portia.
Okay.
Black man, do you know that I have been? Are you saying?
I got you. When I did the first order for the recovery book,
I'm still waiting on a T-shirt, a hoodie, or something. Are you serious? I will shut this whole down.
No, Shann, we're gonna work on getting you some. We're gonna get you some merch.
That's America. Anyway, I'm sorry. Thank you so much, Portia. I'm sorry. That was a sidebar, probably private moment, but that was a trigger right there. He got the nerve. Is he crazy?
Tell us about taking this stuff out to the public, man. We got to do this stuff.
That's how, you know I don't hide nothing. Go back and watch the tapes. There's been plenty of times I have just exited stage left. It's all right, but I'm growing. I am growing. I am much better now, though, Trent. Don't you think?
You sure are, Sister Hemi. You sure are.
Look at Dee. Look at Dee. I'm so sorry, Coach Dee. All right. Mark said no political figure at any level is going to balance the wealth gap of hundreds of years for any group or between men and women.
Absolutely.
You might have a little point there, Mark. Sometimes you be out there in outer space land at times, and I don't know what the hell you be talking about, but you might have a good.
We was doing good without the. We was doing good. We was doing good. Slash was in. Slash didn't go at nobody. He kept it down.
He's gonna mess up.
I want to comment on what he said.
Go ahead.
I want to comment on what he said. In my VP voice, in my VP Harris voice. You're absolutely right, Mr. Slash. You're right, Mark. No one political figure of the country can push us to where we need to be. But I do believe if someone's, really kind of considering the people who really did build this country step by step, it can put us take us from the bottom. I think it'll. At this point, I feel like it'll never happen, but...
You know what? Start asking when a white boy get back in there.
Vote for the down ballot.
I'm sorry? What did you just say?
Start asking for the reparations again when a white boy get back.
Well, you did not have to say it like that.
I'm sorry. Urs know what I'm saying. I know what Urs doing, man. I know what she's doing. Y'all forget I know
I think what Dee said. Dee, what were you saying? Because that's the important part right there.
Vote for the down ballot. Vote for your city.
Right.
Vote for your county. Vote for all the people who are local to you, because that makes a difference.
That I do agree with what you're saying.
And the last petty comment goes to my brother of 40 years slash.
He didn't have nothing significant to say.
Can we read that? Because y'all know I can't see it.
It just says, Shanna Bright, your day one, Mr. Epic. Damn, damn, damn. That's all it says. It was nothing significant in his market.
And Bright.
That's fine. So
all right, it's already 9:01. So yeah.
So hey, we're gonna do
the second part.
Yeah, we got to do it. We got, because I want to get really into it. Really want to get into it. Since hers did all the talk, I couldn't get a word in.
Yeah, I can talk about that for another hour and a half. We can go, don't forget we're gonna start going to that After Dark show, because
we're gonna do that After Dark show probably next week. The power of the
yes, because our viewer guest is ready to come on.
Y'all didn't even invite me. I'm a little bored.
You jumped.
You had to go.
You ended. Well, the last time we just ended up staying on for a few minutes afterwards, and it came up.
Yeah, now you got it all planned out.
First of all,
you still don't tell me nothing.
One of you ever needed an invite?
Blame him.
I see you, sir. That's all right.
It's his podcast.
Blame him. We'll
talk about that soon.
I want to switch things up for a second. I want to ask y'all something.
What?
This is something to think about.
What?
I was talking to a friend of mine, a close friend of mine, on yesterday evening. I was headed to, my brother had a costume party, and I was headed to the costume party, and I decided to take the phone call. We was talking, and he was telling me how for decades women have used men for their loins, and that women do the same thing. And I was like so taken back by that. Like, this is another layer of, when we talk about, in my crazy mind, I started thinking about, because my mind is crazy, how we using each other for, sexual pleasure and stuff. He was like, yeah, this has been going on for decades. And I'm like, so you mean to tell me, I'm thinking to myself, men and women been using each other for decades for sex, but some of them don't want to vote for the woman to be, president. I don't know. And I know it don't connect, but so I'm good to pleasure you. I'm good to cut up your onions and stuff, but I'm not good to lead your country.
So I'm so sorry. I'm still stuck on your self-admission of I'm crazy in my head. I'm so glad you. I'm
thinking about all of that. I just be thinking about stuff. I be deep in thought. But y'all, do men use women for sex, Trent?
Yes.
Yeah.
They do.
Women use men. You've had a boy toy, haven't you?
I've been used for a number of years.
Oh God! Don't nobody want your old nasty community D ass boy.
I've been used for a number of years. I've been taken advantage of for a number of years.
You can keep that community D, sir.
How would you? Let me ask you, Trent. How would you take it if somebody told that to you? Yeah, people been using each other for years. Would you take that as they trying to use you?
No, I wouldn't be offended by it.
Okay, because I was like, should I be offended?
You asking the master of use and abuse and abuse them. What are you talking about?
So D, let's get some clarification real quick. So you coming to the after party
tonight?
No, not tonight. We're not gonna do it tonight. But I didn't want us to to be out there on Front Street, in front of everybody talking about the power of the P. We have respective careers, and I don't need to be seen in that light.
That was something that came up. I'm gonna tell y'all that joke when we go into the after dark. I gotta tell you.
So you going because we need
Mark
to break.
is questioning you, Ursula. He's like, really, Urs?
So see, I know you're gonna keep everything in line, and I can't be seen in the dirty streets, these social media streets. Newly reported, newly published recovery book helping people with different abilities. So I don't want to be, I want to look a certain way. So,
you on your trying to get to heaven mission? Is that what it is? Is that what we doing now? All them years of Sodom and Gomorrah, and now you on the mission to get to heaven.
So, are you seriously asking me to do the emotional labor for you on the show?
Yep.
We're not talking about it. We want to hear how people was pussy whipped and digmatized. I'm sorry. That's what we talk about. I can't wait to talk about the brunt of it.
So people just be using each other for that?
Girl, yes. You ain't never had a boy toy?
So we're going to, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about the power of the
P. Like, why does it matter?
We're going to talk about,
you're wrong.
We're going to talk about the power of the P after we talk about the disdain, taste in brothers' mouths for highly educated, beautiful, beautiful mind Black women. Right here on Conversation with Trent and his beautiful friends.
That sounds amazing, right?
It ain't. Man, I don't agree with what you're saying.
That's okay. You never do.
I do agree with what you say a lot of times. I said, Trent, I agree with you. I always say that to you. But I don't agree. Like, why you think brothers got a disdain taste for a smart woman? That's not true.
That's my opinion.
It's not about the smartness. It's about the financial and
this is the point. And this, so I'm glad you said that.
It's about the fiscal promiscuous.
This is where
say that word
promiscuous
or promiscuous. Fiscal. People are fiscally promiscuous.
This is where we lose. This is where we're losing. This is where we continue to kick the can down the road. This is where we fail to kick the can down the road. When we go into these relationships, we're going talking about finances.
Should we?
Hold on a second. Let me finish. Never knowing the person, never getting a good understanding of that person. Never. We're always going for the lower nature, in your words. Always going for the lower nature and making decisions after the sweat dry. So after I get the nookie, we're going to talk about love. Isn't that asinine?
Why did I not?
I have a quote for you. Yes. It's an oldie. It says, I think it's time to kill for our women, time to heal our women, be real for our women. And if we don't, we'll have a race of babies that will hate the ladies that made the babies.
And in the
Tupac said it 30 years ago, and it's still true.
Yeah,
exactly.
So,
we're gonna have some fun.
Mark, stay in the comments wanting to know about my life. Mark. What I tell you, keep watching for the
we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun on next week with the first half of the show. Then we'll do the power of P in the after hour. So good stuff, man. Real good stuff. What you guys got going on so we can get out of here? Because Kobe needs to walk and I need to go.
I'm actually going to be gone. I have dental surgery on the 12th of November.
Okay.
I may not be here that weekend. Depends on if I look like I did 5 rounds of Mike Tyson or not. I'm being honest because they're doing a lot of work in my mouth, so it may not be pretty. So I may not be here.
Gotcha. Good stuff. Shann, what you got going on?
Oh my gosh. So I'm excited because the Sweet Boutique is coming back open for the holidays. So we'll be talking soon. So you can you got some stuff that you owe me, sir. So
hey, what's up with those edibles? Did you perfect that yet?
Which the edibles?
Yeah.
Oh no, sir. We are on freaking. Are you kidding? I don't live in a state which stuff like that is legal. I do not partake in that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, all right.
If you had been a little bit more that GuMbOtAlk sign, I had you, and we wouldn't even be able to see your face. Go ahead, so because I know you don't partake in that.
Yeah, I don't do that. Although I will say I had my first experience. You remember my first trip down there? I had a very memorable experience with your family and in the.
I got to tell this story, Dee, and we're gonna get out of here. So look, so she came down. We hanging out, my brother, my family, and whatnot.
Oh God!
So one of my brothers brought over a cake, right? So she had been drinking with Torrance.
I thought it was regular pound cake.
She had been drinking with Torrance. They throwing back to Ciroc. So I'm sitting over there. You know, I got the fruit punch going on. So I'm looking at her, and Carlton hands her a cake. So she eating the cake and drinking at the same time. I said, Dad, she don't even know what she's getting into. But the night was over with. She fell in the tub with her clothes on. My brothers, Alvin, and what she loved to call Alvin, what you call him? Gentle Giant.
Gentle Giant.
Alvin and Torrance had to literally carry her to the truck, carry her into my house, and put her on the sofa. She was done. Yeah. She was completely wasted.
The curtain rod never
past white girl wasted
in the bathtub.
She was past white girl wasted, knocking down the what you call those things, the shower curtain, everything.
Yeah, the whole thing.
I was so embarrassed. House full of people. I was so embarrassed.
I blame Carlton for that.
That's so wrong. Carlton wrong for that.
Well, I have to go get Mr. Xavier ready for school in the morning. It's a pleasure speaking with all of you as always. To all our readers, no matter who you vote for, get out and vote because that down ballot matters.
Absolutely. Not to interrupt you, Dee. I love your hair down, and thank you for telling me what you said about, hey, voters, it doesn't matter, just vote. And I appreciate that because I was like, the state red. I live in a red state.
Because remember, you got to vote for a county sheriff.
I do.
You know what? All those guys, the Board of Education, the judges, those people make a huge difference in what happens in your town.
That's true. We do have to vote for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Make sure you vote. Research them and vote for them because I know here in Maryland we got some crazy folk running. We got the Moms of Liberty trying to get in the Board of Education, and they want to ban books and all kinds of nonsense. So,
I disagree with that.
Make sure you vote.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So, hey, listen, I got to get out of here because
night, D. We'll see. Ursula hasn't finished, but good night. I didn't want to hold up D because Ursula didn't get to do hers. But good night,
these lights are hot as shit. I'm about to get out of here too. Go ahead.
Oh, what I have going on?
Yes.
Yeah, what you got going on?
As you all know, I just came back from Orlando with my son, and we had time to connect and bond. He told me his concern for starting a family. He wants to start a family at some point. So me and him bonded, and it caused me to like really take a harder look into relationships and why they are the way they are, and like just a whole lot. We'll unpack that later. I haven't did a TikTok or reel in a minute. I will do one real soon because a couple of things have come to mind, and I'm just looking forward to the holiday season.
I know, me too. So Mark said, cake, make them want it, lick the icing. Yes, the whole shower curtain went down, but yes, the cake was good. There was other stuff, but yeah, that was good. Urs, how old is your son? Hold on, Trent. How old is your son? I saw your picture with him.
He is 26. He's 26.
Okay.
And he girl, that boy is something. That's
calm
all
down, calm down, Cougar.
Shut up. I just asked how old he was. Shut up.
Okay.
Yeah, she might be looking out for somebody she knows.
Thank you.
Good stuff. As you guys know, the recovery book is out. The recovery book is out. Barnes & Noble, Walmart, anywhere books are sold, all over the world, France, Germany, anywhere. You guys can pick up the recovery book.
I need help writing my book. And don't forget about the TED Talk. I really need to get with writing a TED Talk and just figure out how I'm going to put that together.
I got you. Just give me the topic. I'll write it out for you, structure it. Good stuff. I got to get out of here because these lights are hot. And
how you feeling?
I'm feeling better, but spasm right now, so I got to get out.
Okay. As always, thanks for a good conversation. Much love, Shann.
Yeah.
Love y'all.
All right, love you too.
All righty.
Love you too. Bye, guys. Have a great week.
Y'all as well. Bye-bye.
Conversations with Trent in conjunction with Taylor Kennedy Media and your radio network would like to thank you for calling in and listening to tonight's episode. We hope that tonight's conversation offended you just enough to turn your mirror inward to come back for more. So until next week's conversation, be epic.